Aloha, Richard Halverson here, and in this video we're going to start the update availability assignment. And you recall we're working on upgrading this Toastmasters website, and in this assignment, in assignment 5, we have every member has an availability calendar like this, and you're able to go in and check off dates that you won't be available. So these are meeting dates. This club meets each Wednesday, and these are the Wednesdays of the month. And so you're able to go in and check these off and click on Make Changes, and then the automatic scheduler will make sure not to schedule you for those days. Okay, and so in the old system, the data is stored in this availability.txt file, and so our system is going to replace it by storing it in a database, in a MySQL database table, but we still have to regenerate this text file because it's used by other components in the system. Okay, so we're starting by upgrading each text file one or what each tab delimited spreadsheet in the form of a text file one at a time and replacing them with MySQL tables. All right, so in this step, we're going to be designing the actual MySQL table. Now, if we look at the regular table here, I'll click here, member availability, and so it looks like this. This looks kind of confusing, so I'm going to copy it. Control A, Control C, and I'm going to paste it into my notepad here. Paste. And the only reason I do that is because for some reason if I try to copy it directly into Excel, it doesn't. The tabs don't translate to columns. And so, but if you first paste it into a text file and you recognize that these spaces in between, like the dates, for example, are in fact tabs, then you know that the format will be fine. And then you can open up Excel and just open up a blank Excel file, and you can copy this, Control A, Control C, and then go over to Excel and right click and just paste it in, and it should paste in where each column is a date. So each column is a date, and these are people, these are members of the club, and these people have X'd out dates that they don't want to be scheduled. And so right now we are up in, like, February, March 2020, and so this is what's relevant now. Of course, this area right here is all what the scheduler looks at. But because of this, the way this legacy system was built, each time there was a new schedule, it would add a column onto this to represent the future dates. So what we're going to do is the data is now going to be stored in a database table differently. I think we're just going to use key and date, and then when we do this step right here, where we go from the availability table to the availability text file, tab delimited spreadsheet, we're only going to build the portion of the txt file that we need to. So it'll only be the current members, and it'll only be the dates 3 or 4 Wednesdays in the future, because that's all the scheduler. The scheduler just needs those dates. All right. All right. So step 1 is designing the table. And it says the availability table contains the dates of days that a member will be away So the scheduling program should not place that member on the agenda on those days. And I suggest here a good design is simply one record per member per date. And that makes a very simple table, so it's just a table of dates for each member. And those are the dates that the member is unavailable. And then when this availability.txt table is built, it's easy to just select out the dates that you need. All right. So let's go to our cPanel, which I've logged in, and I'm going to take a look at the phpMyAdmin just to see. Let's see, I've got a Toastmasters table here, which already has this availability table. I don't want to use that one because it has the answer there already. But this Toastmasters 3 table, or this database here, looks like that might be. It's got a desires table and a roster table, and so I'm starting at the point where I'm going to be adding the availability table. So I'm going to start with this database, and I think I'm just going to try to make a copy of it. Let's see. So I'm going to go to MySQL databases, and it's this one. Doesn't look like I can just make a copy easily. So I'm going to create a new one called. This is assignment 5. So Toastmasters 05. That'll be the database. And I would like the same people to access it. This person here, user 1. So I'm going to add user 1 to this Toastmasters 5 database. Add. And might as well give all the privileges for now. And let's go back. And so now Toastmasters 5 has the same access. Okay. So now let's go over to Toastmasters. Let's go to phpMyAdmin again. See what happens if I just refresh this. Okay, here's 5. 5 doesn't have anything in it, but 3 is what I want. So I'm just going to export 3, and I'm just going to do custom, and I'm going to do view output as text, and I'm just going to go, and here it is, right here, all this text. And so I'm going to select from here, and then I'm going to do Control A to copy it all, and do Control C to copy it. And then I'm going to go over to Toastmasters 05 and open up an SQL and do a paste, and then go. And now I should have the same database here. Okay, so can I, what happens if I refresh? Okay, there. All right, so now I've got that, and so now, and then I'm going to go to my file manager and go in here, and see, the last one I finished with was 4. So I think I can just continue with 4. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. So what happens if I go up one level and I click on this and I click on copy? Not that works. I never tried this before. Okay, now I can double click here. Ah, lo and behold. Okay, fantastic. All right, so that means I should be able to go to, all right, so now I need to go in and make sure that we're pointing to the correct database. So we're in 5, and let me go there. Five. Okay, and it's still pointing to earlier. It's not pointing to the right database because I just created that database, and that would be specified in here. Um, 05. And here. Zero 05. And here. 05. Okay, so I think all the important ones are pointing to the right. Let me just close this. Close this. I'll close this too. And now this should work fine. It would have worked fine anyway. Right. It's probably right. Alright, now I'm logged in. Okay, so alright, so now we have a new database here, and I'm going to work inside this Toastmasters 05 for this assignment, and I'm going to create a new table, and I think the table will just be key and date. So how about if I just go create table? I'm on 05, create table. I'm going to call it availability. Two columns is fine. The first one is going to be key. I'm gonna put those things KEY, and it is going to be a varchar of, it should be 3 only, but I'm just going to make it 5, and it is going to be the primary, and this is going to be the unavailable date. I'm just going to call it unavailable. Unavailable on a date. And this also is going to be part of the key. Okay? All right. And I should make it INNODB and save. Is that right? Let me go look at here. No, I guess I don't want those tabby things in there. Or those backticks. So I'm going to take them out because I don't need them here. Yeah, I know. Alright. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so I got that, and okay, well that's it for that. Okay, so I guess I might as well, I think, okay, so I guess I'm gonna move right into the second step here, and that's to design the unavailable dates form. And so here we're going to create an update availability form similar to the one pictured below. Assume for this assignment that the club will meet every Wednesday for the next year. Alternatively, you can create a separate table that would be pre-populated with a record for each meeting date. Well, make sure your delete member function deletes any. Okay, so all right, I might not do that part, but all right. So I'm going to make a table that generates something that looks like this, but I'm going to start with this table, and I'm going to make it different, and I'm going to put something that looks like this part here right inside here instead of this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to close this for now. And I'm in 5, so let's start with update desires, and I'm going to make a copy, and I'm going to call it update availability PHP. Okay, here it is, and I'm going to edit it. And let's see. Okay, I guess that's okay. Update availability. Might as well change this right now. And we're going to come right back here. Okay, I guess that's okay. Include the errors. And I'm just going to make this say let's see. I'm just going to say div class input group availability. That's fine. And then let's see. All right, so what I'm going to try to do is to produce, starting with the month of the upcoming Wednesday, for several months ahead. And so, see, let me first of all get rid of all this stuff. And I'm going to keep the submit. Okay, and so let's see. I think the best thing for me to do right now is just to paste in my code. Paste my code right in here. Okay, so I've so here's the code, the PHP code, which generates that table. So let's go through it. The first thing I'm doing is I'm finding out what today's date is. Okay, and I'm looking for what day it is. No, so this is the full date. And all this does is it's going to display out the full date. And then it's going to display this message, check the dates that you will be unavailable. Okay, so that's just kind of sort of to get our bearings. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the next Wednesday. So I'm going to find the time value or the date value for the next Wednesday. And so I'm going to start with today, and I'm going to grab out the month. Let's see. I just checked over this, and I don't really need this code. I don't need that code, and I don't really need this code. Okay. What this code does here is it finds the next Wednesday. So figure out the next Wednesday, or the first Wednesday. So that's what FW stands for, the first Wednesday. And the way it works is it uses the date function, and we should look at the date function. And we're using the W parameter, FW. That's this today, and today is the time. And what time is, this is the number of seconds. This is number of seconds since January 1st, 1970, Greenwich Mean Time, or whatever. It's however you write it. And so that's how Unix and Linux machines keep track of time. And so each unit is a second. In Windows, each unit is a day, I believe. And there's fractions. But anyway, so we start out with today, right now. And so this is the function to get right now, the number of seconds right now. And then I set FW, which is first Wednesday, equal to that. And I loop here. And each time adding 1 day, there's 86,400 seconds in 1 day. So this statement here adds 1 day to FW. So this thing loops while this is not equal to 3. Okay, so what's this? Small w is this one. Small w. Numeric representation of the day of the week. 0 for Sunday through 6 for Saturday. So 3 is Wednesday. Sunday is 0, 1 is Monday, 2 is Tuesday, 3 is Wednesday. So while FW is the date is not equal to 3, the first Wednesday is not equal to 3, keep on adding a day, and eventually this will become 3 because it'll become Wednesday, and that'll be the first, that'll be the date of the first Wednesday. Okay, and then down here, okay, so then I'm going to create a table. This is a table here, and inside the table, I'm going to loop for 60 Wednesdays. Okay, that's what I would set here, from 1 to 60, and 60 Wednesdays, and this is where I increment it. This is where I increment it to the next Wednesday. I just add, FW is now equal to the first Wednesday, and this thing just increments each time, adding 7 days. So it just goes Wednesday after Wednesday after Wednesday. The loop does it 60 times. Okay, now this MON variable, that keeps track of the current month. Okay, and the reason I do that is because when I change months, then that's when I know I have to display out the month like this. See how it displays out February 2020, and then Wednesday, 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 and then it changes months. March, Wednesday, 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 Wednesday. So here, so that's what this month variable is. Well, that's why I set it equal to 0 at the beginning, because then for sure the first month is is not going to be 0, and then it's going to print out the date. Okay, so so the n variable here is lowercase n, which is this, the numeric representation of the month without leading 0. So it's going to be 1 through 12. So so it'll be something, but it'll be different than 0 the first time it comes in. It's going to be different than 0, in which case it's going to print out a beginning tr tag for a row tag, and then a td tag, and then the date, and the format of the date is going to be the day, or the month full and the year full, capital F, capital Y, and capital F is full textual month, so it's that. Capital Y is the full numeric year, like that. And of that particular Wednesday. And then it sets up some other ways of displaying that date. Sets up this is SQL date format. It creates an ID, and then it checks to see if that date is a date that was previously checked. And so there's got to be there's an array here, and I'll show you how that gets filled in a moment. But if that date was previously checked, then um, then then the checkbox is displayed out with a check. And so here's where we actually display out a date. Okay, so this displays out a date, and this is this function, update availability. When somebody checks a checkbox, then it's going to send that date back to the server, and the server is going to update the database table, the availability database table, and that's how it's going to be stored. So so we're actually building that. This is a checkbox here. And so these variables, like this is the ID that was created here. It's going to start with chk, and it's going to have this SQL date, and so on. So we'll see how that looks when it's displayed out. Okay, so this is a full TD table, so it's a full table here. So it's going to look like one of these tables. All right, so then I increment the Wednesday by the next Wednesday, and then what I do is I check to see if the next month is a different month. So I check to see if it's a different month, and if it is a different month, then I have to put the \tr tag. Okay, so that ends the row. And then when it comes back around again, here is where it's going to check again to see that it's a different month, and that's going to do the starting tr tag again here. All right, so so this thing's so each loop, each iteration of the for loop produces one of these squares with the checkbox, but it's smart enough to know that when it hits this one and it increments to the next Wednesday, it is smart enough to know that the next Wednesday is in the next month, so that it ends this row, and when it comes back around again, it starts up the new row and displays out the full month and the year. So let's save this. Okay, this is update check availability. I haven't added that that JavaScript function yet. So let's just leave it. Okay, so I'm gonna save this, and so now when we go back to here, go home. When we click this, there should be something there. Ah, and there is. Okay, it looks like this. So we've got March, this one, and these are the checkboxes, and it goes on into the future like that. All right, so I think that I'm going to put squares around the tables. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the file manager, and I'm going to click on style .css, and let's see, look in there. And I'm going to add this styling here at the bottom. And so what this does is this just puts a border, a solid black border, and 10 pixels padding around each table cell and around the table. So with that there, then if I save this and then I go back to this page, I hit refresh, and now we see that there's got nice squares around there. All right, so that's how we make the table. And so far in this video we have created the database table, and we've created a new database. We've created a new table. There's no entries in there, but it's got a structure. And then so that is, we've done this part, and we've created the form, but we haven't added any functionality into it yet. All right, so I think we've pretty much completed step 2, except for we haven't actually added this function yet, because we have to complete the API first. So anyway, I think I'm going to close this video out, and I'll start again with step 3. Okay, thanks for watching.